everyone, it's Daphne from Scrap and Create, and today I'm back to finish the Spring Botanic Stamperia album that I've been working on. Here's a picture of the cover. I wanted to point out that I went ahead and put the cover on. So this is just a single sheet cut, and then I fussy cut a flower, actually from the cover. I used this piece, fussy cut it, and then layered it on top. These are some of the cut aparts, and some of them are popped and some of them are flat. And then I added these dimensional flowers, and then I added a little tag here and another one of the cut aparts. And the Vintage Shades Cherise Potpourri are the flowers that I added. They're from 49 and Market. They're available in our shop. And I added them to the cover, and I've actually worked some into the inside of the album. So the last time we were together, the cover was not done. The spine was not done. This is another cut apart. Here's the back, and then another cut apart. So it's pretty simple, not too fancy. And then I went ahead and added the liners. So I added this liner, and it's a match to the back. Here we go. And then I added a 3-inch pocket. And you can see here's where I've added some more of those dimensional flowers. And I did the same thing to the front. So these two match, pretty straightforward. This is like 8 3/8. And then again, this is 3 by 8 3/8 with a mat. So it's pretty straightforward, easy. I don't think I added this to the cut list because I actually added this design at the last minute. So as I've been telling you throughout the other videos, I had put this together using 2 packs of Stamperia, and I actually ran out of paper. And when I say I ran out of paper, I did not have enough paper to do this pocket or this back piece. I was actually missing this piece. So at a minimum, I needed another pack just for this sheet, or I would have had to taken it somewhere else from inside. I also had not done any of the inserts, which I've completed. So the inserts, I didn't have enough paper to cover the inserts. So you really do need a total of 3 packs. Or you have to be very clever about how you use the 2 packs, because you won't be able to cover these, what are nearly 8 by 8 inserts. And also I ran short for the back cover. The other place where I went ahead and added some additional paper is right here on the envelope. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that right now while we're together. I went ahead and cut these. They're not inked yet. I'll do that really quick. And then I might have to do some fine tuning in terms of trimming, but I think they're ready to go. And this is going to go here. And then I've got these little tabs to go on the side. And this is one of the places where I skimped on paper because I needed that 3rd pack, but now that I've got new paper in, I actually ran out, so I had to wait for a shipment. I got that in, so I went ahead and pieced this together. And like I said, I finished the back, and there was a couple of other small things that I was able to do because of that 3rd pack. So what do you do if you really want to do it with just 2 packs? Well, you're going to have to look for a way to economize on the paper. And one of the ways that I do that is during the construction of the album is I wait to cover the B-side of all my flaps if I think I'm going to run out. Because if you're going to have to use coordinating cardstock, a lot of times that's where I want to do it, on the B-side of the flap. So I'm going to go ahead and ink all these and get them laid down. And each one of these pieces I don't have measurements for because I actually just took the envelope, deconstructed it, used it as a template. So it'll really depend on the size envelope that you use to cut each one of these individually. And that was the best way to do it, I think. Whenever I'm working with triangles, I think it's difficult because all our cutting boards are really set up to do squares and right angles. So I think cutting apart or taking apart my envelope was the best way to get a good template to use to figure out how to trim this paper down. And I think it turned out nicely. And again, if you use a coordinating colored cardstock, it wouldn't stand out so much. So that's one of the ways where you could economize on paper. So for example, if this was a gray envelope, or even a pink envelope, I might not even bother covering it. So I'm excited to have this done. I know it's been forever since we've had any content out there, so I'm very anxious to get this released. Today is February 5th, and it's midday here, and I'm expecting to have this out tonight. So February 5th. And then I'm working on, as I mentioned before, I'm working on Love Notes from Graphic 45. That's my next release. And I just got, now this one, it looks like I might need to trim just a little bit off the back end, which I'm going to do with my straight edge and an X-Acto knife. And anyways, I got my Love Notes paper in today. I had done some pre-planning, so hopefully that won't take too long. I've got a good start on it. And that'll be out soon. And then also, Christine has been very busy. Let's see how that fits. And we should have another Stamperia collection out, Alice, very, very soon. And I'm even hoping that happens this week. I think I want to take off just a little bit more so I have a nice little border there. And I didn't realize it when I came to sit down, but I brought my short ruler. I should have brought my 12-inch. So I'm going to take off about a 1/16 of an inch. So overall I wound up taking off about an 1/8 of an inch. All right, I'm going to ink that and get it down. Get it down. So I'm happy with the way this turned out. I think it's actually quite pretty. I was very fond of the paper collection itself. A lot of times when the paper comes in, kind of Christine and I will decide, you know, who's going to work with which paper. And I was very keen to be the one working on this collection. It looks like it's a little too wide too, so I'm going to take off a smidge on the corner on both sides. So even though the envelope is not difficult to cover, it is a little fussy. So if you want to avoid that, like I said, what I would do is use a coordinating color or contrasting color envelope and then just not cover it. Just leave it as is. So I have the option to do this or this. And I kind of like this just because it stands apart from the background a little. And then I have one more piece to cover the top part of the envelope, which isn't so important on this one because of the placement of the magnet is actually underneath the top mat. But on my back one, I forgot to put my magnet in until later, so it's actually here, so it has to be covered. Because these spots really are not ideal for photos. So it's not like I'm going to put a photo here to cover that up. Okay. And I think this is the piece that goes up top. And it is, and it looks like I need to cut a sliver off, maybe an 1/8 of an inch. Again, or let's try. I have two. Let's see if this one fits better. Nope, they both need to be trimmed. Sorry about that. And I'm only trimming one at a time because you never know what the envelopes are going to be like. So it might fit on the back page, even though it's a little too big for the front. Okay, let's try that. Hopefully I'm in frame. Again, I'm just trimming this down to fit so that I have a nice border around all the edges. So it's very, very little paper that I'm taking off. I was doing this last night and I think I was a little blurry-eyed because these are actually too big. All right, so yeah, so I was telling you what the plans are. So I've got the love notes in work, and then after love notes, I'm going to do something with that Prima paper, which I'm excited about. That's very different from the collections we usually carry, so I started doing some pre-planning, and one of you guys commented that you liked it and that it would be possibly a good paper for your brother's wedding or brother-in-law, I can't recall. Anyway, so with that in mind, I'm going to kind of design with that, you know, thought in mind, making sure to have lots of photo space, but also lots of space for cards, because a lot of times you want to keep the cards that you get at those events. So I'm going to try to keep that in mind and make lots of tuck spots. And I can't wait to get my hands on all those lovely flowers, which I think will be fun. So I'm going to probably do a little more with flowers in that album than I normally do, just because I have so many options. But also I think when you do a romance album, particularly a wedding album, I think you have a real opportunity to use lots of flowers. Okay, so that's done. So we are going to do the same thing on the page 7. And oh, my little stamen keeps popping off that flower. I'm going to have to do something about that. Choose a different glue. Okay, here I am. So now I've got these trimmed out. So this should go here, and this goes here, and this one looks like it fits perfect. So I'm gonna ink it, glue it, and the other one looks like it might need a slight trim. Not sure yet. So this is the first time I've incorporated an envelope into my design. It's different. I like the way it looks. I'm trying to come up with different things. Of course, it's not that unique. I've seen it done by other designers. It's just something I've not done before. And I would probably do it again, but it is a little fussy to work with. So I want to warn you. The other thing you can do here is this whole thing could have been just another card inserted to flap over to close everything. So a card just like this, only going the opposite direction, if you don't want to fuss around with the envelope. In the cut list, I actually give you, I gotta double check the size, I give you the finished dimensions of the envelope, so that you can either make your own envelope. I did not give you the envelope build instructions. There's plenty of tutorials on that, and probably most of you have one of those envelope making scoreboards, which is what I used. So I just gave you the finished dimensions. Or you just purchase a finished envelope. All right, get some glue and we're done. Oh, my puppy is about twice as big as she was before. She's getting so big, it's getting hard for me to lift her. She's some sort of German, oops, I missed one edge. German Shepherd mix is what they told me. She's a rescue, so we don't really know. But she's gotten quite large. I can tell you that. She's kind of napping right now, so I'm getting a little bit of a break. And my hands are healing. She's been quite the nipper with her baby teeth. Okay, so now we have this piece, and then, yeah, one more. And then this will go up here to cover my magnet, as I had discussed before. So I look like I need to take about 1/8 of an inch off that, and about 1/8 of an inch off this one. So both of them, they're a little bit too big. And I'm just eyeballing it. Trying to anyway. Let's see how we did. We could actually go a little more, so I will. A lot of times when I'm doing something that's an odd shape like this is I'll get one corner down and hold it, and then just swing the other end around, adjusting it back and forth like on a pivot until I get what looks right to me. And there it is. There it is. One more time. See if we can get, if we got that first swipe. No, I have to go one more time. I'm always so cautious not to overcut. I almost 99% of the time undercut. Which is, I guess, if you're going to err one way or the other, that's the way to do it, so that you don't have to waste any paper. I can actually cut that a little more. Because of the score line, I don't want any interference, so I'm going to trim just a sliver more off. All right. Good enough, good enough. So this concludes the end of this album. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And it looks like, or I've got an 8.5 by 8.5 plan for the love notes, and I don't really know what I'm doing for the Prima yet. I think I'm going to do another 8.5 by 8.5. They are a little bit faster for me to get out, and I'm kind of anxious to get some inspiration out on that collection. But I may come back and do a larger one later. They have such lovely paper. I can't wait to work with it. I opened the packages last night, and it's so thick and lush. It's really wonderful. And I did a walkthrough on this. Some of you have watched and commented, and I want to let you know that I was kind of surprised by this, but the 12 by 12 has these foil accents on it, which are almost coppery, like copper, not gold. It's hard to know if it came across in the video, but the A4 and the 6 by 6 do not have the copper accents. Only the 12 by 12 does. So if you like the copper accents, or if you're expecting them, it's only in the 12 by 12, which comes in a pack of 24. So you get 4 of each design, or if you want, we're also going to sell those sheets in packs of 2 of each design. So 12 sheets instead of 24. So we bought, and of course you won't get a cover sheet because we're going to package those individually. So if you think that 4 of each design is a little too much, don't know what you're going to do with it. And that's, I said of each design, keeping in mind that there's a design on either side, right? So it's really 6 or 12 designs, 6 sheets. All right, that is in. Okay, so now my envelopes are completely covered, and it looks lovely. And I'm going to close that. So here's another place where you could have taken an opportunity to cover it. So I'm going to go over that one more time. So I actually ran out of paper to cover the back. So I did need paper for this. I did not have paper to cover the inserts, so all 4 of the inserts would have had a 1-inch strip, and that's it. So by getting that 3rd pack, I was able to cover these, cover the back of this, and then I also needed additional paper for cut-aparts to do this. Now, as part of getting the 3rd pack, I wound up getting a lot more of the tags than you do with the 2-pack, so I really took advantage of that. And there's tags and photo mats throughout the book, and I'll show all of those to you in the actual walkthrough. But I did want to point out in this video where the key areas where that 3rd pack of paper had to go. The inserts, covering this envelope, and then lastly, this back panel. So with that, I'm done for today. Well, not for today, but I'm done with this video. I'm going to come back in a few minutes, and I'm going to do a walkthrough from beginning to end, pointing out each of the features and where I've added 3-dimensional design elements. Thank you so much.